Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on another video of mine. As always, it's very much appreciated. If you're new here, hi there and welcome. My name is Rosie. I love doing natural hair videos. So for today's video, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys a new wash and go combo that I wanted to go ahead and try. Now I went ahead and did this side, so it is looking pretty good. So I wanted to go ahead and get on camera and show this side as well. So this is actually my first wash and go of 2025. For the last 2 months, I've just been keeping my hair in twists and just, refreshing my twists throughout the week. And, I'll do like mini twists or jumbo twists, but mainly just keeping my hair in twists just because I wanted a bit of a break. And also in today's video, I will be sharing with you guys how I trim my hair. Now, when it comes to trimming my hair, I'm not a professional. I have been trimming my hair since I started my natural hair journey back in 2017. So it's been about 8 years. When it comes to trimming my hair, I like to trim my hair in its curly state. I don't blow dry my hair. I don't straighten my hair. That's just, my preference. I personally don't have any desire to straighten my hair again. So I do trim my hair in its curly state. When it comes to trimming my hair, I overall don't do a lot of manipulation with my hair. I'm not really big on hairstyles. I'm kind of lazy with that. But I don't really do a lot of hairstyles with my hair. I mainly do wash and goes, do twist outs, and then throughout the week, I like to keep my hair either in a bun or I'll do like a ponytail, a half up, half down. But I really don't experiment a lot with heat as well as hairstyles. So I really don't feel like, when it comes to trimming my hair that there is a huge amount of hair that I need to cut off, because overall, I personally feel like I'm really disciplined and I take really good care of my hair. So it's not really a trim, but just more of dusting of my ends. So I already did this side. So this is the hair that I trimmed. Hopefully you can see that, but it's really not that much. But I wanted to just go ahead and show you my process and just overall my method that I like to do when it comes to trimming my hair. When it comes to trimming my hair, I will say that, I personally don't feel comfortable with another person touching my hair, let alone trimming my hair. So this is the reason why, I take this approach. But what I would tell anybody when it comes to their hair, in regards to what you feel is best, you really got to make that decision on your own. You got to decide whether you are going to be trimming your own hair or, doing the research and finding someone that you really trust with trimming your hair. But I'm not a professional, but I wanted to go ahead and show this. I do get a lot of questions in regards to how I trim my hair, so I wanted to share that in this video as well. So for my products, for my wash and go, so I went ahead and I am using a new leave-in conditioner. Now I bought this leave-in conditioner back on Black Friday and I haven't had a chance to use it, and I decided that tonight was going to be the night. So this is from Camille. This is their Guava Slip Detangling Leave-in Conditioner. This smells so good. It has a nice strong smell, but overall I really love it. It really reminds me of their coconut water leave-in conditioner, just because it has a lot of slip, and it just really paired well with the other products that I paired it with my wash and go. So far, so good with this. So this is going to be my leave-in conditioner. And then for my cream, again from Camille, this is their Curl Love Moisture Milk. And then for my gel, I'm going to go ahead from Uncle Funky's Daughter. I'm using the Curly Magic Curl Stimulator. I've been using this gel for like years. It's one of my favorite gels to do a wash and go. So they paired really well. And then for my oil, again from Camille, this is their Cocoa Nibs and Honey Ultimate Strength serum. Now for my wash and goes, I like to do the LCO method. So I like to use a leave-in conditioner. I said LCO. So I like to use a leave-in conditioner, then I like to go ahead and use a cream, and then I use an oil. Well, I add a gel, and then I use an oil to just sealing all that moisture. I do have a detailed video about how I like to do my wash and go. So if you want to check that video out, I'll definitely make sure to link it at the end of this video. But these are the products that I'm going to be using, and also I'm going to be trimming my hair. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm starting off by putting on my gloves before doing my wash and go. You know, I love wearing gloves because they really help my products glide on more smoothly, and they protect my hair from unnecessary friction or snagging. You know, they also help me be more gentle with my curls, which is really important for maintaining, you know, healthy hair. And on top of that, they also help protect my nails too. I'm really trying to grow them, and I feel like when I wear gloves, it just makes it easier, and my nails are not so rough, or not even so much rough, but they're not so brittle. So, you know, when you're doing a lot of styling, it can definitely take a toll on your hands. So again, you know, wearing gloves really keeps my nails from getting ruined in the process. Now I am beginning by working in small sections. Now I always like to work this way because it makes applying my products a lot easier, and it also ensures that every strand is fully coated and it's getting the love and attention that it needs. And since I'll also be trimming my hair today, you know, working in smaller sections just helps me clearly see any areas that need a light dusting, you know, just to maintain healthy ends. At this stage in my natural hair journey, and I've been natural for 8 years now, I'm not really trying to shape my hair, you know, and I also, you know, I don't straighten my hair, I don't blow dry my hair. I love wearing my hair in its curly state. So, you know, to me, it's just more about keeping it healthy and making sure my ends stay in good condition. I'm starting this section by really wetting my hair and making sure it's drenched. Now, since I have low porosity hair, you know, working on soaking wet hair makes such a big difference. It helps the products actually absorb into my strand instead of just sitting on top. Now, first I'm applying the Camille Rose Guava Slip Leave-In Conditioner. Now, this leave-in conditioner smells amazing, and the slip is incredible, which makes it so much easier to glide through my curls without causing breakage. It actually reminds me a lot of their coconut water leave-in, which has been one of my favorites for years. To add even more moisture, I'm layering the Curl of Moisture Milk on top. Now, this two-step combo gives my curls the hydration they need to stay soft, defined, and healthy. I'm also using my Tangle Teaser to detangle and make sure that the products are evenly distributed, which is key for, you know, a very defined wash and go. Once everything is worked through, I start taking even smaller sections to trim. Now, I like to curl the ends of my hair around my finger first. You know, this really shows me where the ends start to look thin, uneven, or lose their curl pattern. Now, I'm not doing a full haircut, you know, I'm just doing what's called dusting. Now, dusting is when you lightly trim just the very ends to get rid of any damage or splits without losing significant length. Because my hair is long, I don't really need to reshape it. You know, my goal is to maintain the health of my ends so I can continue retaining length over time. You know, small trims like this done consistently help prevent breakage, keeps my hair looking full, and makes it so much easier to manage between bigger trims. Now, overall, healthy ends just truly makes all the difference when you're really focused on long-term hair growth. Now that I finished trimming, the next step is to add my gel for hold. Now today I'm using the Uncle Funky Starter Curly Magic Gel, which is one of my go-tos for defining my curls. Now I always like to use a gel when I'm doing a wash and go because it does help unlock all the moisture and definition. You know, gels are really important if you want your wash and go to last for more than just a day or two. So, you know, the gel really helps seal the cuticle, reduces frizz, and holds your curl pattern in place as your hair dries, which just gives you a longer lasting definition without having to refresh as much. Even though I do enjoy refreshing my hair throughout the week, you know, I do work out. So, you know, refreshing my hair throughout the week is definitely a must, but I feel like I don't have to do it as much, especially if I'm using the right gel. Now, another reason I love using a gel is because it creates a protective cast around the hair. You know, the cast acts almost like a shield, you know, helping to protect my hair from humidity, friction, and dryness throughout the week. So once the gel fully dries, I can lightly, you know, scrunch out the crunch if I want a softer look. But even after that, you know, the definition and shine really stays locked in. And lastly, after applying my gel, I really like to use an oil to just help in sealing the moisture. You know, I love doing the LCO method, been doing it for years, and I just feel like this approach has been perfect for my hair. I feel like it works the best, and I just have seen my hair thrive so much. You know, when it comes to trimming my hair, I really like to just keep things simple. You know, I like to take my time, you know, work in small sections and trim only what's necessary. You know, just enough to keep my ends healthy and strong. At this point in my journey, and I've been on this journey for 8 years and counting, it's just really about maintaining what I've grown and just making sure my hair stays in the best shape possible. That is always my priority. You know, a little maintenance now just really makes all the difference later, and I feel like trimming my hair like this has been really beneficial. And I usually trim my hair every 6 months, so just twice a year, and I feel like following that schedule has really helped me throughout these last 8 years. Okay, I'm just going to keep moving through the rest of my process and finish my wash and go. Now I'm going to play a little music and just fast forward throughout this part so you can still see the process, but I'll be back once I'm done.
Okay, so it's the next day and my curls are fully dry. Now, after I finished applying all of my products yesterday, I sat under the dryer for about an hour or so just to help set my wash and go. Then once my hair was dry, I wrapped it up. I did a loose ponytail using satin scrunchies, just to help keep my curls elongated overnight without ruining the definition. Now that it's the following day, I'm going to go ahead and stretch my hair a bit. So, stretching my curls helps me get more length and shape without disturbing the curl pattern. And it also reduces some of the shrinkage and just overall gives my hair a fuller, more elongated look, which I personally love. It's my favorite. So I'm going to go ahead and share this part with you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this while I stretch my hair, and I'll be back to show you my final results.
Okay, so these are my final results. I gotta say, I really, really love how this wash and go came out. I have a mixture of definition, and you can definitely see the volume. I don't get such a strong hold with the Uncle Funky's Curly Magic Gel, but I really love having that balance of definition and volume, especially on day one hair. But really happy with how my hair came out. I don't have a strong crunch. It's not a strong crunch. You do feel the hold a little bit, but it's not as intense. Let's say, for example, if I were using the gel from Miche, the Tropical Oasis gel. That gel has a much stronger hold. So with that gel, I don't get as much volume, on day one hair. But with the Uncle Funky curly magic gel. I definitely get a mixture of both, which I really, really love. So just wanted to come back here on camera and show you guys my final results. Now I do want to come back for day 3 hair just to show you how my curls is looking. I'm gonna wear my hair out today. I'm getting ready to head for work. I'm not sure if I'm gonna wear my hair out tomorrow. Don't see it for day 3, but regardless, I'm gonna come back for day 3 just to show you how my curls is holding up. But overall, really love the results of this wash and go. It's looking really, really good. So, all right, guys, see you for day 3. I'm back. So this is actually day 3 hair, and this is what my wash and go is looking like. Overall, I think that it's still looking pretty good for day 3 hair. I do have a little bit more volume. There is a little bit more frizz, especially like in the front area. But overall, for day 3 hair, I think this looks really good. I actually kept my hair in my bonnet yesterday for day 2 hair because I worked from home. So I feel like that kind of helped with my wash and go still looking good. But even if I wore my hair out yesterday, I feel like I would still have the same result. I haven't needed to moisturize. I haven't used anything. This morning I did use a refresher spray just to like refresh just my ends, and I used the Honeydew by Camille Rose. This is their liquid moisture refresher. I really love this stuff. So that's pretty much what I've used so far. But other than that, I haven't haven't had the need to go in and moisturize. I just feel like the combo that I used, you know, the leave-in, the cream, and the gel has been holding really nicely on my hair. So I'm just really loving how my hair is still looking, especially for day 3. So it's been really cold in New York. It's actually snowing, and it looks like the weather is just going to be like this all week. So I'm actually going to keep my hair in a low bun for the majority of the week until wash day. I'll probably wash my hair either on day 7 or day 8, just sort of depending on my schedule. But because it's still, you know, pretty cold, I really don't like wearing my hair out so much in this kind of weather. And I just feel like keeping my hair in a bun, you know, will help preserve the curls a little bit more, and will make overall my wash day easier when it's time to wash. But overall, I really, really love this wash and go combo. I feel like once it gets a little bit warmer, I will definitely try this combo again and have my hair out throughout the week just a little bit more. I want to do a dedicated week in my wash and go video, and I want to, you know, just sort of provide more details in regards to what my wash and go really looks like throughout the entire week, and provide you more information in regards to how I take care of my hair, how I'm wearing my hair throughout the week, and so on. So I want to make a dedicated video on that, but I'll definitely have that for you guys sometime soon. I'm just kind of waiting for the weather to kind of warm up a little bit better, so I'm able to, you know, wear my hair out a little bit more throughout the week, so you guys can really see how my wash and go evolves throughout the week. I still do have a little bit of a gel cast. It's not a strong gel cast, but I do feel it in some of the curls. It's like a soft hold, kind of like, yeah, medium, soft, medium, however you want to say it. But yeah, some of the curls, I can still feel a little bit of that gel cast. So that's really good because it just lets me know that the gel did its thing, helped give me the hold that I need for my wash and go to last a full week. So that's always a good thing. All right, guys, that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you have tried this wash and go combo, definitely let me know in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts and how your hair held up throughout the week. I would love to hear from you guys. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video to the very end, and I will catch you on my next video. Bye.